Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody. Hey, live from Harlem in New York City, it's me, I'm Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble. Over in the Bay Area, ladies and gentlemen, San Francisco, lives Larry Bubbles Brown. And we never got to go do the Waymo, Larry.
No, you got sick. I was ready to do the little Waymo thing with you.
Yeah, and I was having trouble with Waymo, trying to figure out how to pay them. You know, because I have a credit card, and I just wanted to use that. And with like Uber and Lyft, you just put in your credit cards, and that's it. Here, it was something weird you had to do to get Waymo to recognize your credit card. So.
Oh, yeah, you're supposed to, I guess, just get their app on your phone, however that works.
In other words, and this is Larry Bubbles Brown, folks.
Yeah.
I think I love this button.
You can now own that button, folks.
Yeah, could they write you or something and get them by email?
I gotta do. I had a couple of people who emailed me that want one, and I gotta set up a way to get these things mailed out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Well, what else you got to do with your life?
Yeah, I got nothing else to do. So.
Yeah, except, and so if you want a button, you can carry Larry with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
That's definitely your voice. Where did they get your voice from?
Oh, I recorded it, and then they, of course, these things were made in China.
Yeah.
And I got huge boxes full of shit. It's like I think I got 1,000 of them.
Yeah. But what other merch have you done in your time?
That was the only time I've done merch. I think I did.
You did T-shirts.
When we were on the show, I think I did have some Park at Whore T-shirts.
Yeah. And anything else? That's it?
That was it, yeah.
Oh, it was really good. Well, anyway. So
you got sick after the.
I'll tell you how sick I got.
Show.
Okay, I'll tell you how sick I got. And I probably told the story a dozen times already on this channel, but let me tell it to you. I like the day after the show, Marjorie is sick. She got sick during the show. She had to leave never saw the second show.
Really?
She had to leave, yeah. She was that sick. And she was really sick. So was our hosts, who I will go nameless for being infectious. And so she got sick. Then the husband got sick, but not as sick as the wife or Marjorie, okay? And then I got sick, but not as bad as the host. Oh, I'll just say who they were. It was Buddy Love and his wife, okay? Mm-hmm. Buddy got sick. I got less sick, but I got sick, okay? And I still have a cough to this day, to this moment, which is like a good week later. Anyway, we go back to their place, and they're all sick, and I'm not feeling well either. Now I've got this problem, and I hate mentioning this on the air, but I've got to because it's part of the story. Here's how bad it was. I would try to go to the bathroom. I would get up out of bed. I was a little loopy, right? And I would run off to the bathroom. And before I got there, I would pee my pants.
Jesus.
This went on for days. I was peeing in the bed. I was peeing in my pants. I couldn't get to the toilet in time. Now, that's never happened to me before, okay? I don't know what it was, but since we left San Francisco, I haven't had the problem. You know, I suddenly feel like I got to go to the bathroom. I go into the bathroom, and I make it before I have to go. I don't know what it was. It could have been part of being sick. you know. But then, now here was the thing that was really strange. I don't know how it happened, but somehow I fell down outside the bed. Now, this bed was kind of high to begin with, and I couldn't get back in. And Marjorie was already back asleep. And I'm lying there on the floor. So I go to sleep on the floor. And I wake up, and I'm still on the floor. I try to crawl over, and I can't even crawl. I can't get up off the floor. I'm stuck on the floor. And finally, I wake Marjorie up, and I said, Marjorie, I can't get up. So she goes and tries to help me, but she can't get me up because I weigh, 220 pounds or something like that, okay? So she can't lift me onto the bed. So now she wakes up Buddy and his wife, and his wife gets him back of me, and then he jumps on top of her, and I bruise a rib.
Jesus.
And finally, they get me up on the bed and get me into the bed. But I just can't move around. It was just absolutely impossible. And I mean, it went on like this for days, the peeing and the not being able to get out of bed, not being able to walk around. I mean, it was horrible, just horrible. And finally, we got on the plane and we got back to here. And I started feeling better. At least I didn't have the peeing problem, and I didn't have the problem of falling down and not being able to get up. But it was quite what we had. I don't know what it was we had, and Marjorie still has it, and I still have a residual cough from it. So it's who knows what it was. But whatever it was the plague. I'll tell you that right now.
But you didn't have a fever?
I didn't have a fever. I don't believe. No.
Okay.
Marjorie did. Marjorie, Buddy's wife is a doctor, and she said, "I think you have pneumonia." So she gave her antibiotics for that. Then it helped a little bit. Didn't completely cure. In fact, she went to a doctor today to see what was wrong, because she still got a cough. So do I. So I figure I'll have her go to the doctor, and the doctor will say what's wrong, and then I'll know what's wrong with me. So, But anyway, it was not a pleasant way to end our trip in San Francisco, because I wanted to take Marjorie around. We were going to go upstate, and Buddy was going to drive us up there, and we were going to go to Sonoma maybe and get some wine. Stuff that, I wanted to just show her and have her enjoy about a place that we all kind of live in and love,
Yeah, I really wanted to do that Waymo.
Yeah. And, in fact, one of my people, Brian, wanted to bring his daughter over to see me on Wednesday, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I didn't have the strength to do it. So, but I feel so bad that we didn't get to spend, after the show, we did not spend time in San Francisco. We spent time in bed.
Yeah.
So it was not fun. And on top of everything, I'm 86 years old, for crying out loud. I have to.
Good thing you flew business class, because that's miserable to fly when you're sick.
Oh, I'm always going to take business class. We have lots of, what I call fuck you money. And every day it gets better, because I don't know what, but the stock market is just going crazy.
Over 50,000.
Yeah. And my, every time I spend money, like on the trip or whatever, somehow I make it all back. It's kind of like sourdough yeast, It replenishes itself. And I don't understand it, but I have the same money I started out with. I give up, I'm not complaining.
No.
But anyway, having that kind of money, I just figured with Marjorie, from here on in, we're always traveling business class. That's it.
No,
I don't care. It costs us $10,000 to get to Europe. So what?
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it to us at our age. If we were, in our 40s, we'd go economy and we don't care,
Yeah, you got to treat yourself at a certain point.
Oh,
in time.
business class, it was wonderful. You lie down, it turns into a bed. You know, you watch TV, you eat food. They serve great food. I mean, it was like, I was raving about the food. I think when I got off the plane, I said, that was, doesn't get better than that.
Is that United?
Yeah, yeah. And I usually always fly United. I like United. They've always been a decent airline. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And
So
so you didn't get to see San Francisco much.
I didn't get to see my. Buddy drove me around one day, and we saw a lot of stuff, and it was nice. But I didn't have Marjorie with me, and I wanted her to be with me to see it. There's the cough, folks. To see it, and she was lying in bed just out of it. She was sick as hell. So, but at least I got to have Buddy drive me around. I got to see a lot of things that I remembered, of my home, of Telegraph Hill and places like that. And, I love that city. That city's I will say this. I've heard how terrible San Francisco has been lately. I didn't see it, okay? And we were driving everywhere, but I didn't see it. I saw the town I grew up in and that I love. So tell me where it's terrible. What didn't I see?
Well, we had to go to the dentist yesterday down by Union Square, which looked okay, except all the major stores are closed down there.
Yeah, that's the problem. These were big stores. These were major stores.
Macy's, Saks.
I. Magnin, J. Magnin.
Yeah.
There was a place you probably don't remember. There was a place in San Francisco called the White House.
I do not recall that one, no.
They had a huge Christmas tree inside the atrium of this department store. It was called the White House. And it was terrific. My mother loved the White House. And it was great to go to during Christmas time and so on. It was maybe the biggest, that and the Emporium, which is on Market Street. Mm-hmm. And it may have later become something else.
It became Nordstrom's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was, of course, what was the other thing we had there? We had Macy's. When Macy's came to San Francisco, my mother was in heaven. Oh, New York's best department stores come to San Francisco, and it was major. And that was all in Union Square. That was the area. And Union Square is is it okay still?
Yeah, if you get behind Macy's over there by that Hilton, that's where a lot of the homeless people and people shooting drugs are.
Oh, really?
By the cable car where it ends down there.
Yeah, yeah. So I didn't see how terrible San Francisco was. Mm-hmm. And I would like to. I'd like to go back, and I'd actually like to I'd love to have a place to live there. Go upstate, get a little place. I miss that part. That's where I was born. That's my life. That's my identity. Not this goddamn town.
But you're in New York.
Well, this town was very big for me because my mother grew up here. This was her hometown. And so I always heard about New York this and New York that. And when we'd go back, we'd see the family, and she'd travel across the United States with me on a train. And we'd go see my grandparents and all of that. And, but that's all I knew about New York. San Francisco was my home. When I played in the streets, those were my streets. When I went to the movie theater, that was my movie theater on Saturday afternoons, the Palace Theater.
Where was that?
That's now called the Pagoda or something else. It's still a movie theater. It's still a theater.
Okay.
And it's down at the base of Filbert Street, I think. Maybe not. Maybe one street over from Filbert. And it was a movie theater called the Palace, and we used to go there on Saturday afternoons and go see movies. You know, they had the kiddie matinee. And that whole neighborhood was mine. I remember standing on a corner of one side of Union, of that street. What's that? Is that square Union Square? No. Mm-hmm. You know, what is it? What's the square in North Beach? What is that? Columbus Square?
Columbus, what do they call that?
Yeah.
Washington Square, I think.
Washington Square, okay. One side of that was a furniture store called Fagoni and Riley. And they were the first person ever to have a TV set. And they put the TV set in the window with the speaker outside the window, and they would turn the TV set on Tuesday nights so you could watch Milton Berle. And people would be lined up. They would be crowded around this little TV. This had to be a 12-inch TV set showing Milton Berle. I remember that.
That'd be a great picture to have.
I remember that. You know, that was my life. That was my life on Filbert Street. So then we moved to Marin,
which was very calm.
Well, families started moving to Marin because this started to be the move to the suburbs.
Yeah.
And my grandparents had a home in Mill Valley, so my parents simply moved into the home in Mill Valley. But then they didn't like it because it was getting old, it was falling apart, and so on. So they bought this home in San Anselmo and used the proceeds from selling the home in Mill Valley to buy the home in San Anselmo. And I remember when they bought that home. Are you ready for this? Hold on to your seats, folks. This was we had to go up, 99 stairs or something, 79 stairs to get to the house. It was on a hillside. It was 2 stories, and it was, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, dining area that my parents put in, actually. How much do you think that house cost in Marin County? I got to say 50, maybe, 1950? 51?
Well, today it would be at least $2 million, so...
probably more like 3, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cost to my parents $9,100.
God.
And they paid for it in payments. You know, it was like $35 a month. They pay that off, and years later they had it paid off, you know.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what things cost then, too, you know, so it wasn't that expensive. And it was, it was pretty damn, it was a good life I had over in Marin. You know, that was a good place for them.
George Lucas lives in San Anselmo.
He had a house in San Anselmo.
I think he bought 12 homes and demolished them and built one. Yeah.
He had one up on the hill. I know that. There's one right up on the hill, and I think he did buy a bunch of homes around it. Yeah, and made it into one. But that's when he finally had the big money, you know. And then he had. It's funny. He has a place. They built Skywalker Ranch right off Lucas Valley Road. Mm-hmm. Now everybody's going, oh, isn't that wonderful? He moved out there and they named the road after him. No, it was Lucas Valley Road when I was a kid, before he ever went out there. In fact, they had a thing called Lucas Valley Milk. That was the milk we all got in that area. So,
and you've been to the ranch.
I've been to the ranch on 2 occasions, I think. Once, actually, to have lunch. I was sitting right next to George while he was eating. And then the next time I went out there to do a voice for a movie. It was only meant to be a temp track, and they felt that it was so good that I might get the job of being the voice. But it turns out I didn't. I'm trying to remember what the movie was, and in the beginning there's an announcer, and it's New Year's Eve, and he's announcing. And they hired an actor to do it. And the actor, of course, doesn't sound anything like a radio person. But anyway, I walked out of this going, oh, maybe I got a job in a movie. Finally, after all these years, I'm in a movie, you know. Not to be believed.
Did you ever interview him?
Who, Lucas?
Yeah.
Never. I think he kind of hated me a little bit. Because on the radio, I used to joke about him because he was going with Linda Ronstadt. And I knew somebody who saw Linda Ronstadt buying birth control pills in San Anselmo. And so I said, does she need him or whatever? Well, it turns out, Lucas, I don't think could have any kids. He apparently didn't have the bullets, shall we say? and so I used to kid about it about Ronstadt and he and buying the birth control pills in San Anselmo and things like that. And I don't think he ever forgave me for that.
Maybe,
yeah. Amazing how thin-skinned people are about people who are making fun of them.
Yeah, that's...
You can make fun of me all you like. I love it. Say anything you want to about me. Ha ha.
Yeah, you can always tell the celebrities that get pissed off, and if they don't like someone doing an impression of them, that's always a good indicator they have no sense of humor about themselves.
Well, I always have a lot of respect for people who let people kid them, you know, and don't mind it. I mean, look at Trump. How thin-skinned is he?
Yeah, he can't take anything.
He can't take a joke, and if you're in the public eye and you can't take a joke about yourself, then you better get out of the public eye, because that's not the place you should be residing. Have you ever been hurt by anybody kidding you or saying anything bad about you?
Not really, no.
Of course, has anybody ever said anything bad about Larry Bubbles Brown? Come on, I can't imagine it.
I'm sure.
Really?
This business is so backstabbing. So.
Oh, really? Oh.
Usually, of course, the things that are bad that are said are probably not said publicly. But
yeah. Well, you sir, Larry Bubbles Brown, what an asshole! I don't think I've ever heard that. I don't think there's anybody who has anything bad to say about you, Larry.
Well, I try to be nice, I think I'm a little withdrawn, but
yeah.
Other than that...
Have I mellowed with age?
I would say very much, yes.
I have.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what made me a hit in San Francisco radio.
No.
Did I have any of that edge when I was on stage?
You did, yes, especially during the Q&A.
Yeah, because I worry about that. If people came back to see Alex Bennett, I'm much more. I'm a lot less bothered by stuff, whatever. At my age, you can't be bothered by anything, So, anyway,
At our age, we're just happy to be alive.
As I put it, we're happy to be above room temperature.
Yeah.
And with age, I have gotten mellower. There's no question about it. But, I just wanted to make sure I still had that edge on stage because that's what they came to see.
Were you nervous before the show?
No.
Oh.
No, I wasn't nervous at all. The only thing I was nervous about, and it was my constant worry about doing this, is that I couldn't live up to people's expectations. Because let's face it, there were a lot of expectations in that room. And apparently, their expectations were met. Nobody complained. Nobody wanted their money back.
No, I was so... I've never been so relaxed, or I just I actually enjoyed it being there.
You weren't nervous, were you?
Not at all, no.
I think Slayton was, though. Because Slayton
he was running around.
He was calling Len every other day.
Every 5 minutes, yeah.
Every 5 minutes. I can't do this. I don't know if I can do that, And it's all his fear. But the thing is that fear then plays itself out like it did on stage, and it was incredible. Mm-hmm. Just incredible. Well,
and by the way, I think we got to give a shout out to Len, who produced the show, did a fantastic job.
Incredible. Couldn't have been better. And he had never done anything like this in his life.
No, it was amazing.
Yeah, and he was thorough, and everybody got their money in the end, and he's very good. He's terrific. Yeah. Big shout out to Len. Hey, listen, Larry, we'll see you again next week, okay?
We will.
We've run out of time. Talk to you later. Larry Bubbles Brown, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, in its 11th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yeah, our old friend Larry Bubbles Brown, so good to have him. Hi, here we are. I'm glad we didn't do a show last night because I had so many technical problems. I don't know, it's been happening a lot lately. And my problem with technical problems is in the old days, I could solve them really fast. And I can't do that anymore. I just can't, and it was the thing that made us post the shows, to the GabNet page. And it was just not working. It was just not working for me. I couldn't figure it out. And so, you begin to wonder, well, I don't know what the heck, is happening here. And if it's something that broke once before, like 5 years ago, you can't remember how to fix it. And especially now, because I'm a little more confused about things. With age, that happens. And it becomes more difficult. I wish I had a technical guy here to handle everything now, but I don't. But anyway, we have 2 people waiting to come on here. Now 3 people. Okay, all right. So we may as well admit them all. I am going to, let me see here. Let me put them here. There they are. Oh, there we go. Oh, and we even have Mark Thorner, and we have Charlie, and we have Kevin, and we have Josh Wheeler. Hello, everybody. How are you? How's everything going with all of you?
Pretty good.
Okay, good. I just wanted to hear your voices to make sure everything was working here. Because, it's somehow lately, tonight I had to reboot the machine 3 times. And I've got a fairly new machine. And it's, it shouldn't be doing that. I get that round balloon of death. What do they call it? The
spinning beach ball.
The beach ball of death, Which supposedly you're not supposed to get that much more anyway, nowadays, they say. But I don't believe them, so what the hell. Anyway, so hello to Charlie, and hello to Kevin, hello to Josh, hello to our good friend Mark Thorner, and Alan's here as well, so it's a good start, Did you miss me last night?
I was umpiring anyway.
You were umpiring anyway, okay. I know I was going to do a show, and then about 3 o'clock, I'll tell you what happened. Marjorie said, hey, want to take a drag off this joint? I said, oh, okay, I'll do it. And I don't smoke a lot lately, so I'm a real pussy now when it comes to smoking pot, right? So I took a drag off of it, and about an hour later, I can't even stand up. I can't think straight. And finally, I said, I can't do a show tonight. I wasn't recovering fast enough. And I guess maybe that happens with age, huh? I guess.
Strong too nowadays.
What?
I said the shit is about 80 times stronger.
Well, she gave me a joint. I know what I'm getting when I get I have these vapes I use to put me back to sleep and so on. And so we had so that you could be right. That could be the new pot. Great. When I was a kid, it was you got that stuff from Jamaica, you remember?
Yeah,
you used to have to roll about 5 pounds. Bob Marley used to make spleefs that were this thick, and he had to, because that's the only way you could get high. What were you going to say, Mark?
Oh, I had an experience in Greenwich Village that
I went to pick up some weed with my best friend. My best friend was more of a smoker than I ever was. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, this was like something out of the centerfold from High Times. You had hefty bags. Hefty bags.
Hefty
from floor,
bags?
floor to ceiling.
Yeah.
In a building, then I find out later on the building's a squat.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't think of it from the outside. It looked like a normal, but apparently some very smart people figured out how to turn the water and the electric back on. But it was like one of those things where
And they all came in hefty bags. I used to buy a hefty bag full of pot
yeah, it was like
for $15.
no, it was more than that, Alex. It
Oh,
was
really?
no, he bought my best friend. What he figured, if he bought a pound and split it with everyone, it came out it came out cheaper, believe it or not. And I wasn't that big a smoker, and to begin with. But hey, now I can't enjoy it at all. So
Yeah.
why not?
Some guy came over to my apartment once in New York, and he said, "Here, take this. I don't want to keep it in my apartment right now because I think the cops are watching me." And it was a pound of marijuana.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was fine, a little pound of marijuana. He said, "Just hold on to it for me." Well, months come and months go, and he never comes back. So I guess they arrested him or something. I don't know. And I've got this pound of marijuana. So I figured out, okay, I'll start smoking it. Well, this is Jamaican weed. And after you smoke about even a tenth of a pound, a twelfth of a pound, it just didn't take that much effect anymore. It just was, that's the way weed was in those days. And so I kept trying to give this stuff away, but I didn't want to give it away because then I get busted as a dealer. So I couldn't do anything with it, so I flushed it down the toilet. I had to do that. It was kind of a sad day in my life when I had to flush it down the toilet.
I'll
feel
bet
like
you
a
never
cop.
flushed cocaine down the toilet. I'll bet you never flushed cocaine down the toilet.
Well, Marjorie did, I think.
Oh,
Not
really?
here, not while I knew her.
Oh.
But in her second marriage, I think or third marriage, I can't remember. She was married to a cocaine dealer.
Oh boy.
Yeah, she said that was quite a time, And she said that they had to flush it down the toilet once. And I went, oh, God.
Wow.
What a waste of money that is. But, the guy was doing okay anyway.
When I was going to high school, you could get an ounce of weed for $20. Now try and get an ounce of weed for $20.
Oh, no.
You can't even buy an ounce right now.
Right.
What they do is they sell it in stores now, and it's like, in vape packets, and they're like $40,
Yeah.
and it's maybe the equivalent of half a gram or something. I don't know. It's amazing, just amazing. But so that was my life with pot. How you doing, Josh? What's new?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Yep. Anything happening in your life that's interesting?
Well, personally, not really. I'm just on the same routine, working, and I'm don't have any new article. Well, I guess I do. I do have an article I've started to submit, but
Yeah.
it's still a little ways away because I'm in a class right now, so I'm held up a little bit on that anyway, delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty busy.
Yeah. How about you, Kevin? How's everything going up there in Oregon, which we can't see outside your window because it's nighttime?
Oh, good. It's fair. Getting stuff done. Trying to get some stuff.
You haven't unpacked completely, have you?
No, but I'm not unpacking for a reason. Some of the stuff.
Why is that?
Oh, we're probably
Turn your microphone up, will you?
We're probably gonna have some work done, and until I get the work done, I just don't want to unpack it, move it out
Yeah.
of the way, let it get done.
Turn the mic up a little bit. You're a little low.
I think it's up all the way. I don't know.
Is
that
it?
better? Let me mess with it. I'm just too little far away from it.
Yeah, probably. That's probably it. So you're not doing much of anything until you get the work done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why put the couch in a room that you're going to have to take it out of?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
more like we're going to build a wall downstairs, and I don't want to put stuff in storage right yet until the wall's done, so I can put it behind the wall.
Why are you putting the wall downstairs?
I'm just making my man cave a little more compact and giving me more storage area down there.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
Okay.
your wife somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're through, we'll all come to visit you, right?
There you go.
You know.
Come on down.
Yeah. No, we'll drive. Somehow get all the way up to what's the closest town to you that has an airport?
Eugene. It's about they fly over my house every once in a while.
It's nearby.
10 minutes.
Oh, okay. You come pick me up at the airport.
Yeah, fly into Eugene. You can do right down the street.
Now you have to make a drop off in like San Francisco and then get a plane to Eugene, right?
You probably got to go to Vegas and then up to Canada and then back over to San Diego and then into Eugene probably.
Oh, that's easy. Well, I won't be seeing you anytime soon.
I tell you, I tried to put
Yeah,
flights out of here and
it's
it's like
easier
18
than that.
stops.
I mean, about 4 years ago, well, I flew to Eugene to look at some property to buy, and I had property outside in Portland, and you just fly from the Bay Area to Portland's airport, and then you just hop on a plane and go to Eugene from there. It's 20 minutes in the sky or something like that.
No.
Portland Airport.
How long
Okay.
ago though was that?
But nowadays,
He said, how long ago was that?
4 years ago.
4?
It was like a couple months before COVID hit. So what's that, 5, 6? I don't know.
5 years, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they've changed a lot of the flights. I
That'd
mean,
be 6 years.
there's a couple of direct flights to the Bay Area, and then that's it. The rest of them got to go to San Diego, and then Ontario, and then Oakland.
It's
and
not
then...
a big Eugene's not a big airport. I don't think it'll.
No,
handle
it's not.
it.
A lot of times it's almost better to
737
fly up to
maximum,
Portland
probably.
and then, drive up to Portland and then take it out of there.
Yeah.
It's all confusing me.
It's crazy. They're just trying to fill planes, is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well. Anyway.
Empty miles.
Huh?
No empty miles, just like trucking.
Wow. Yeah.
Better be something on it.
All planes are pretty much filled now, aren't they?
Yeah, because they do shit like that.
Yeah.
Send you all over Hell's Half Acre to get to a straight shot.
And if they see that a plane isn't filling up, don't they just cancel it?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You know. So it's anyway. So I was thinking about vacationing. I mean, Marjorie and I want to go somewhere. We gotta go somewhere because we aren't going to be around here. We don't know how much longer. We could be here another 15 years. We could be here another year and a half. Okay, but we've got this money and we want to travel. And so I was talking to Len today, and I said, let's get something really fast. He said, well, I think I might be able to get you on a boat in about 69 days. He said, I'll let you know, But, it was a boat it was a cruise ship, a Viking, and I can't remember where it traveled now. But we don't care. We just want to get out of here. But it's only 1 week. And so I got to do something that's at least 2 weeks because Marjorie's going to be sick for the first week. I can count on it. Either that or I'll get sick before we take off. One or the other. You got to catch us in between illnesses. So, what have you. Anyway, yesterday, it's interesting. The Republicans have turned into complete, absolute idiots. Okay? They held a deposition for Hillary Clinton in the Epstein situation. And she has said any number of times she never met the guy, she was never at his house, never went to his island, never did any of those things. And the only person she knew was Ghislaine Maxwell, and that's only because she attended Chelsea's wedding, and not because she was invited by the Clintons, but because she was brought by a friend of the Clintons who was invited, and that was his plus one. All right? So they drag her in yesterday for this deposition, and she tells him exactly that. At the very beginning, she reads something. He says, I didn't meet him. I didn't know him. I didn't know anybody associated with him. The only person I knew was Ghislaine Maxwell, and that was just because she came to Chelsea's wedding. And that was the end of the story. You know, they went on to depose her for 6 hours. And among the things they asked her about were UFOs.
Yeah.
I don't know why she showed up without a lawyer. Congress wants to talk to me. I got a lawyer.
Well, remember one thing, she is a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what's the saying about lawyers? If you defend yourself, you got a client that's stupid or something.
You don't remember the saying, but
No, I don't.
you know, the fact is that she probably felt she didn't need one because she didn't have anything to hide. Now, Bill showed up today, and I don't know if he showed up with a lawyer or not.
But he also laid out the rule. He also let them have it.
What did he do? I didn't hear what went on today.
He basically, you think Hillary laid down the rule? Bill, doubly so. He tore them all a new one.
Really?
Oh yeah, and you know, it's like, yeah, this charade is just bullshit.
Well, I'm getting a little tired of everybody and anybody who had anything to do with Epstein being thought of as a pedophile.
Except Trump.
You know, except Trump. Yeah, except Trump, who's mentioned, what, over 100 million times? I don't know how many times. Just an incredible amount in the Epstein files.
Yeah.
And, but, I mean, I just don't understand why they're making such a big deal out of this and why everybody who had anything to do with him. The other day, Bill Gates apologized to his charity because he besmirched it by having anything to do with Epstein. But at the time that he had something to do with Epstein, he probably didn't know about Epstein. You know, all he knew is the guy had money and he could get money out of him for his charities. So, I mean, why do you have to apologize for that? You know? My friend Bobby Slayton knew Epstein much more than I think anybody did because he stayed at an apartment that Epstein owned when he was in New York. Epstein said, come on, use the apartment. And it was a pretty good deal. And he introduced him to Woody Allen, and Woody put him in 3 projects that he was doing, 4 projects that he was doing. And then I saw somebody write something about Slayton. Oh, he must be a pedophile.
Yeah.
And believe me, I know Bobby. Bobby had a girlfriend at the time, and still does, the same one. In fact, he brought her to Epstein's place, and the thing that bothered him most about Epstein was he hit on her. And he just said, that's inappropriate. It's totally inappropriate, you know. And Jeffrey, or Jeff, I don't know what they call him. Anyway, he wouldn't, if offered any of those women, he would not have taken them. I know that. I know Bobby that well. But all these people are vilifying Bobby like he's some kind of, you know, pederast, is just horrible. It's just horrible. So anybody that was associated with Epstein, all of a sudden, people are suspicious of them. They have to make a statement of what their relationship was to Epstein, and you know, it's terrible. It's just terrible. And on top of that, might I add that Bobby has had his life threatened. So is his girlfriend, right? And so is his daughter.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, yeah. All because he's in the Epstein files. Big fucking deal, you know? You know, and the one guy that's in the Epstein files at least 100,000 times, I think it's in the millions actually, I think it's over 1,000,000 times, is not being asked to come and do a deposition.
Well, that's because they can redact his name from everything.
Well, he claims that he's the president and you can't depose him, but that's absolutely wrong.
It's wrong, but he's not going to go up and be deposed.
Didn't Clinton get deposed in the Monica Lewinsky situation? It wasn't a federal deposition, but it was a courtroom.
He said, I did not have sex with that woman.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean,
and he lied.
Yeah, but then they ask her about UFOs. Do you know anything about the UFOs? What? This isn't about the UFOs, you morons. You know.
She should have invoked her Fifth Amendment rights and shut up. Rather than that, or said.
Well, no, she didn't want to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights because that makes you, believe it or not, even though that's a provision that it protects you, it really makes you look guilty if you use it. It does. It absolutely does.
Don't think so. I disagree.
Well, I think so.
If you're talking to the police, Alex, say you're driving down the road. Well, you don't drive, but if you're driving down the road and the police pull you over. And
that's a different situation. That's at the time of arrest. But I'm saying that, like, for instance, what's his name? Clinton didn't take the Fifth a single time today.
No. Good.
You know.
He had a lawyer with him, didn't he?
I don't know. Did he have a lawyer with him? Anybody know?
Somebody said he did. I don't know.
Anybody know if he had a lawyer?
Hopefully his lawyer was more awake than Charlie.
What's that? I just heard Charlie.
Well, I was looking to see who was going to doze off first, Charlie or Josh.
Josh doesn't doze off.
Winner. Wait a minute. What does that T-shirt say?
Well, it compares Fahrenheit to Celsius to Kelvin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, what do all those mean, Alex?
Well, Fahrenheit is one form of temperature. Celsius is another, and Kelvin is yet another.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's the various forms of measuring temperature, and on that shirt, I'm sure each of those temperatures they list are the relatives to the others. Yeah.
But two of them you can feel the heat, and one of them you can only see the temperature difference.
Well, Kelvin, 100 degrees Kelvin is still damn cold.
Yep.
That's right. Kelvin is most often used in light bulbs. Like, you know, how many kelvins does your light bulb have? If it has 5,000 or 6,500,000, then it's daylight, like type light bulbs.
Okay.
Where else do they use it, Charlie?
Out in space.
I don't know. Texas?
Texas, yeah.
Texas doesn't know anything about Kelvin.
Well, Celsius is what they use in Europe, right? For the most part, yeah. Like 0 Celsius is freezing.
Yes.
Yes.
32 degrees Fahrenheit.
Where Fahrenheit, it's 32 degrees. And what is it in Kelvin?
It's very hot. It's like 273 degrees.
Okay.
It's 0 degrees.
See how educational this program can get, folks? Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah, let's go talk about medicine again.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Anyway. So anything anybody here would like to talk about?
What's going on? I don't know.
Nothing going on.
Oh, doesn't go.
Huh? I was, we have this whole, we have, there isn't much there's a lot going on, but there isn't anything going on.
We're getting ready to go to war.
Yeah.
Invade Iran sometime in the next
I have no idea why he's doing that. If I were telling Iran what to do, and God knows it wouldn't take the ideas from a Jew, but, I would suggest that what they say in their negotiations is, we are ready and willing to agree that we will never create a nuclear device. We will never have nuclear fissionable material. If you will just do one thing in return,
Get rid of
protect
Trump.
us if anybody attacks us.
Oh, okay.
Because we have to have some way to protect ourselves, and if a nuclear device is the only way we can do it, because when you become a nuclear power, you have a little more strength, we'll be happy to do that if you guarantee that if anybody comes after us, whether it's Israel or anybody, you will protect us. We'll sign the paper, whatever you want us to sign.
Didn't work so well with
With Ukraine.
Not Russia.
Ukraine.
Yeah, Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah, well, we didn't keep
We
our
promised
word
to
then.
protect them and haven't done a whole lot. So
Well, we protected them as long as Biden was president, but
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
now that we got Doofus as president, no.
Yeah, that's right.
But
You know, we had a deal like that under Obama that Trump just kicked to the woods.
yes, he got rid of it,
Yeah.
and now he wants it.
Yeah.
I don't, you know.
I think what we ought to do is annex Florida. Just get rid of Florida. We don't need it anymore. Mar-a-Lago's. Oh, sorry, Mark.
There's a very nice point at which you could just take a saw and
Right.
cut through it and float it out to sea.
What did I say a couple of weeks ago? Bugs Bunny did it.
Yes, right. That was, you know, that's
I love in his first term, in Trump's first term, there was a big storm coming in. So the Weather Channel said that it's going to be blowing from the east to the west. And so Trump got up there with one of those
magic
erasable-
marker, yeah, and drew a
Yeah,
penis.
a magic marker, and said it's going to go this way towards Louisiana. And he looked so stupid because they had already told him it wasn't going that way. It was going a different direction.
Well, he also drew it in the form of a penis.
It sure looked that way.
Yeah, it looked that way, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry. I really don't truly understand any of this. It's just it's such a bizarro world we live in now. You know.
How come Trump didn't wear his Medal of Freedom or whatever to the inaugurate the
Medal of Freedom.
yeah, what did he from FIFA, whatever?
Oh, the FIFA award. Yeah, he
Yeah.
could have. He
He
gave him
should've
one to
wore that.
wear. They gave him one to wear around his neck too.
Yeah. Hopefully there was a thing that the vice president could have reached over and just choked him out.
Yeah, the FIFA Peace Prize.
He's still going to be arguing that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize as he's bombing the capital of Iran.
Well, the man is delusional. Okay, the man is delusional, and he's forgetful, and he doesn't remember his lies. You know, if you're going to lie, there's one rule about lying: remember the lie. Don't forget it, because the lie's going to come back to bite you in the ass. You know.
He says he's going to do things and then doesn't do them. He's a loser, right?
Yeah.
So let's give him the Nobel Peace Prize.
Do you hear crickets? You hear crickets?
It's got no balls.
Oh boy. Well, anyway, I don't want to put anybody who lives in Florida down because I don't want to wish ill on that beautiful state. It's a nice state. It's a wonderful state. It's just the people are so ugly. That's the problem. And believe me, I know more than anybody. I lived down there for 3 months and just got out of Dodge as fast as I could. Maybe they were worth something when they were known for drugs, but they're not even known for that anymore. So, whatever.
Now they got people looking at stars in the middle of the night by the beach.
Yeah.
With their camera equipment.
Yeah.
I wish I had the knowledge and the stuff. It's interesting to me. My brother-in-law's got a really fast camera, and he's got a Celestron 8-inch scope that we can see way into space, and it's neat. So you go out there with a camera and take pictures, and that's neat. The one behind you is neat. Your green screen.
Well, I'm often jealous because we have so much light pollution here that when something celestial happens, and they say, "Oh, you know, there's going to be an aurora borealis tonight, and you'll be able to see it all the way down to Florida." I don't know, and you know, I can't see it. Why? Too much light pollution.
There was only one time that I know that you could see the night sky in Brooklyn, and that was the blackout of '77.
That's right. That's right.
Why don't you get once you get there's a new tower going up at the south end of Central Park that's like 68 floors up. Get the penthouse up there. I'm sure you'll be able to see it then.
Oh, you mean the building that wasn't built right?
Oh, is that what it was? I don't know. I just heard that there was a building there.
Where was that? Which one's that? Do you remember?
The one that looks like a pencil. It's thin, and
Yes.
apparently they didn't build it right. And now there's a problem. Either they take it all down or they just live with it.
Oh, you mean one of those pencil buildings is leaning? I didn't know that.
It's
Really?
I didn't either.
See, the same thing happened in San Francisco, but there the what do you call it? If you just go down a little bit, it's all water. Okay, so you got to build enough structure underneath in order to be able to have the building sit up straight.
They're still doing that.
They didn't, and that thing is still. Is it ever going to fall? Do they figure it could fall eventually?
If it does, it might hit the Bay Bridge.
Supposedly, you can take a ball bearing, put it on one side of your apartment, and it will roll all the way to the other side.
Yeah, they got videos of people put pool balls for a pool table on one end of the room, and it rolls over to the window.
Well, same thing.
Right.
Same thing.
Right.
Anyway, so, you know, I mean, but I didn't know that was true of the one here in New York, but I'll tell you
didn't
something.
either.
I'll tell you something. I believe it, you know, because some of those buildings, they're like pencil thin, you know.
Yep.
And you should be able to build a strong superstructure because Manhattan is on granite, I think.
Yeah.
Manhattan shale.
Is it? Oh, Manhattan shale, so that's kind of weak?
No, are you kidding?
That is strong.
But the problem is that it was described to me the minute you go into the water, it drops off. It just drops. You just have clay. And that's why when they build anything in Brooklyn, you have to have pilings put down equal to the height of what you're building above.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, oh, yeah. Believe me, it's also one of the reasons why it's taking forever to get the rest of the Second Avenue subway done.
Well, all these the reason they're pencil buildings, the reason the square footage of each story is small is because they, what was the reason now? Oh, yeah. No, hold on a second. I have to reconnoiter here. I use so much in my buildup that I forget what I was saying.
You're talking about marshmallows.
No, is that they put them on such a small. They take a bodega here, buy the bodega and tear it down and turn it into a building, but they got to build it on that square footage.
Yeah.
One of the thin buildings we have here is built over the Steinway, what was the Steinway building, You're like questioning what I'm saying, but I know that what I'm saying is right, Mark.
No. It's like, I remember that building.
Yeah, I remember the Steinway building, and they had the pianos in there. It was about 3 stories tall or something. Well, they built a building on top of that, and now it goes all the way up to, I don't know, wherever. But there's a lot of unsafe building being done in a lot of towns, and San Francisco is primary to it. I mean, San Francisco never used to have a building that was taller than 20 stories for exactly that reason.
The reason is we're an earthquake country.
Yeah, that too. But now you can build them as tall as you want to build them.
Sure, why not?
You couldn't build them more than 20 stories. That was it.
Well, the Trans-American Pyramid's taller than that.
Well, no, that was the first building to be built that tall in the area. So, but that was years later. and now they're everywhere, and you can't see the hills of San Francisco anymore in a photograph. Just buildings, you know. And I'm sitting here. I had a beautiful view 15 years ago when I moved in here. Gorgeous. Guess what?
Uh-oh.
They put up buildings in front of it, in front of us. They can't build tall buildings here, but they built buildings down the way that were tall, and a lot of it's blocking off the view.
I would complain, especially at the price you're
Oh,
paying.
yeah, they're going to listen to me. Yeah, they're going to tear down those buildings because I don't like them.
That's right. Alex Bennett says,
Hey, cheese it, guys. Alex Bennett is complaining. Yeah, they listen to me, right? But I don't know. Now, of course, what's nice about where Kevin is living, he doesn't have problems like that, you know? They don't build giant buildings there, do they?
they have
I think the biggest one I've seen so far is about 8 stories.
yeah, they have an ordinance here where I live that you can't build over 8 stories.
Yeah, but where you are, nobody wants to live.
That's funny. That's funny.
You're out in Walnut Creek, right?
No, hell no. Phil lives out there. No, I live in Fremont.
You live in Fremont.
Fremont, all you're ending up with Indians from India and Chinese from China with tons of money. Housing prices are going up 25% per year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 2 years ago, the guy next door bought the house for $1.9 million. It just appraised the other day because he's going to refinance it at 2.5 or 2.6 million.
Wow.
And here I am sitting right next door to him, and my house is paid for.
Well, let me see here.
Where would I move? I mean, I grew up in Fremont. Where would I move?
Where would you move?
That's the trouble. I don't know where I'd move to, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm happy here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Single-story house, sturdy, you know. Famous last words. It's sturdy.
Anyway, I'm just looking here. I just checked to see what was happening with Drudge and what Drudge was making a big deal out of. We lost Neil Sedaka today.
Oh,
Neil Sedaka?
Yeah.
wow.
Oh.
Yeah, he was 86.
Oh, Jesus. Well, that's old.
What did you just say?
I just said he was getting old.
Would you mind repeating that again?
Bill Clinton is facing questions from Congress today about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein here in Chappaqua, New York. The investigation is the first time that
What's this? Is that me?
Questions from the House committee under a subpoena.
Let me see here. If I I muted. Oh, what do you know? Sound was coming through on the what do you call it? Anyway, Neil Sedaka is dead at 86.
How old was he?
86.
90?
86.
86.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
We used to love
He
Neil
lived a good
Sedaka in
life.
high school.
He lived a good life, yeah. Yeah. What were you saying, Charlie?
I said we used to love Neil Sedaka in high school.
Well, he was part of that soundtrack when we were kids,
Yeah.
you know? And when it came to the 50s, you know, he was part of the group of people that worked out of the Brill Building here in New York. And they wrote a lot of music. And Carole King was part of that, and Jerry Goffin.
My pal Tony Powers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And they wrote most of the hits of those days.
Yeah.
You know, it was Al Nevins and what's his name, who had the publishing company, Al Nevins and Don Kirshner. Then they hired kids, you know, like Carole King and Neil Sedaka. Who else? Paul Anka, I think, was there. They were like crazy. Wrote like crazy.
Gene Pitney, was he there?
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was another one that was big in the 60s with Gene Pitney.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. looks like the Ellisons are going to get what do you call it? They're going to get HBO, Warner's, all of that, and Netflix just said, "Oh, we've had it with this thing. You know, it's just not worth it to us." And I think they honestly believe that. You know, what do they need it for? It would be nice to have, be a nice addition to their film library and every television shows and stuff that they could maybe put into Netflix. But you know, it's not worth it to them. Let these guys, these yutzes over at Paramount, buy the damn thing and let them lose money on it. You know,
This is they're buying what station? I mean, what thing again?
Paramount, HBO, basically Warner's.
Okay, Time Warner. Okay.
Not Time Warner. It's been Time Warner for years.
Oh, I don't know. I'm an old man. I'm forgetful.
Here's a guy who wants to come on called Ronnie McNutt.
Uh-oh.
I seriously doubt that he's a contender for being on this program.
No, not another.
Yeah.
Why can't it be women? Why can't it be women that want to do this spamming and stuff?
Yeah. RFK says, eat liver if you're so broke. You know, I'd like to have one person in this administration who is in tune with the common man in this country. To begin with, RFK, you eat liver every night, okay?
You can eat shit.
I don't want it once a night.
Only chopped liver.
Yeah.
Jews learned you had to chop liver in order to make it taste good.
That's right.
You know?
A couple spices. Had to be chicken liver, though, huh?
Chicken livers, though. It was chicken livers. He's right, Mark. It wasn't liver. Or did they make liver? No, they made chicken livers.
Oh, and beef.
They did beef livers?
And beef. Oh yeah, beef. That's what RFK is talking about. I think RFK has the common sense of the temperature outside on a cold day. You know, this guy has no smarts, no nothing. Says the stupidest things. He's even got Trump beat in stupid comments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't believe RFK. You know, we got kids that are not being vaccinated because of him. They're getting sick.
Oh, the measles outbreak is his fault.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know.
I mean, we had to get a bunch of shots to all of us to go to school.
Well, most kids up until recently had to get shots before they could go to school.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And the reason was they didn't want kids because kids are like, incubator labs,
Yeah.
And they didn't want kids coming to school and giving other kids diseases. So they figured if everybody was vaccinated, you wouldn't have any problems in schools, and they didn't.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, what did we wipe out with vaccinations? Polio.
Yeah.
What's coming back? Polio. What do we wipe out with vaccines? Measles. What's coming back with a vengeance? Measles. Thank you, RFK Jr. You know.
We still have one friend who has polio.
You have one friend who has polio, and that's from years ago.
Original.
That's from years ago, right?
Yeah. Before the medication was
I mean,
available.
you know what it is? I think it's that we just forget that we have short-term memory to begin with. Yeah. But then we don't even have to have short-term memory on this one. How long ago did the polio vaccine come into being? 75 years ago?
In the 50s, I think.
You know, there are people, a lot of people who aren't even alive now who remember polio.
Yeah, like
I remember polio.
Huh?
I remember polio.
Yeah? Yeah.
In second grade, one of the kids in my second grade class got polio.
There you go.
My wife's aunt had it.
But when did the polio shots come around? About 1950, right?
I thought
Somewhere in there.
53.
53?
Yeah, I got a couple in the early times.
So, we have so many people who don't remember polio, so they have no sympathy for anybody that says we got to take polio shots. What for? Polio shots will make you stupid. Well, polio shots will make you dead.
Maybe that's what happened to Donald Trump. He had 17 polio shots 1 week.
I hear the crickets again.
Yeah.
Unless that's a true story.
No.
Oh, okay.
And I think he ate a lot of paint chips, with lead in them.
Okay. That's possible too.
Yeah, who knows?
Anyway.
I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Let's see here. And let's see. Inflation fear returns. USB downgrades U.S. stock market. UBS downgrades the stock market.
Not a good thing.
If we go to war, the stock market's going to plummet.
Says here that Bill Clinton said, I saw nothing and I did nothing. How many people, though, are going to believe that, in spite of the fact he said it? And it's probably true. It's probably true.
Probably.
I mean, although I will give it this, that if anybody was capable of it, it would be Bill Clinton.
I would say he was the guy who didn't have to do it.
That's a very good point.
He already had girlfriends who were okay. They were 21 years old.
Well, you know what? What's his name from Microsoft? Gates told his people. He said, "I did have affairs with women while I was married. Or maybe it wasn't when he was married. Well, he said he had affairs with women, and they were all Russian.
Yeah.
He must have had a thing for Russian women, huh?
Yeah.
And he admitted this to his.
He's divorced now. Now he can admit it.
Well, he can admit it, but it's still I don't think it was why. I'm trying to remember if he said it was while he was married or after he was married.
Well, I heard that he had to try and secretly give his wife antibiotics because he got a VD, a venereal disease, from one of these Russian women. And so it had to be while he was married.
Oh, okay. All right.
He would put antibiotics in her drinks or something, or in her meals.
Really?
That's the story I read.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, that's cute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
She didn't know she was sick?
What?
She didn't know that she was sick and needed an antibiotic?
I don't know that the story I read just said that, what I just said. It didn't say whether or not she had symptoms or whatever. Maybe he just got it and gave it to her because...
Yeah, but how did anybody find out this story? Did he tell it? Gates?
Supposedly he admitted it when he was telling about having these affairs.
Wow.
He was buying his cyanide from the wrong people. She's still alive.
No, he was not trying to kill her.
Boy, there are a lot of crickets chirping tonight. I don't know where they're coming from.
Well, everybody knows you have no sense of humor, so it's okay.
Okay, right.
That's what I hear.
That's why people laughed at me when I was on stage. I guess it was just because I'm disgusting and horrible.
Well, those are good reasons.
Yeah, good reasons. So, Josh, anything in the news that's been appealing to you at all, or has it all been kind of dull?
Well, there's a few things, I suppose. I think the things that get talked about every day are just more things that they want to push for theater or whatever. But I think there's always things that go on in the news that should be of interest to people that are, really more important than, things like Bill Gates and Epstein's and stuff like that, I mean, I think the Justice Department certainly, slowly by their own admission, is not following the law in release of these files, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In any other administration, I think that would be a rather serious story that would be dominating the news 24/7, but it really isn't getting any traction. But they're clearly not following the law. I mean, they have not released everything for sure, and it does appear that they've been caught removing files that are damaging to the president, to Trump. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That was an NPR story, and then others have checked it out. It's been verified by several different news agencies that, there are certainly salacious information that was purposely removed by the Justice Department.
This was stuff about a 14-year-old, I believe, saying she had sex with Trump.
Some things like that in there.
Alleging that she had sex with Trump.
But that whole thing with the files and the Clintons and all that, I mean, it's not really effective for, Americans or for the country even. If the Justice Department wants to pursue some things and prosecute some people and all that, I think, that's fine. If laws were broken, they should be. But they're not even following the law in response to, releasing the file. So, I mean, nothing about that is serious and does anyone any good, but we spend a lot of time on it. And in the meantime, things just keep ticking by that are actually important that no one's going to talk about because they're talking about, that stuff.
But my question is,
they want.
My question is, how much control do we have over the DOJ? Now that it's in the hands of, Trump acolytes, do we have any recourse? I mean, and with a Republican Congress, can we affect and Senate as well? Can we effectively do anything right now?
The people can only continue to put pressure on lawmakers and then, make votes that make sense, so to make change. I mean, in the day-to-day right now, there's not a lot people can do other than pressure their lawmakers. And if an overwhelming amount of people made it clear that this was upsetting them and would influence their vote in the midterms, or whatever election was coming up, it doesn't have to be now. This applies all the time. Then, lawmakers might then actually think about asking, or forcing out a Pam Bondi or someone like that. But, the Department of Justice right now is in terrible, terrible shape. It'll take it a long time to recover.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think that story's gotten, a lot of play. I found it interesting this week that in Pennsylvania, there was a case there where a person committed a crime, but the way that they were caught was very interesting because I think maybe something happened, like a break-in or something at a house, and the way that the police found a suspect was to go to Google and to ask for a list of people who had searched for that house's address and information about it on Google, okay? They didn't have a specific person or a suspect, a warrant or anything. They just went to Google and asked, who's been searching for this? Google gave them that information, and then they took that person that they were given to and, they arrested them and then got some evidence, and I think they charged him or convicted him. So I think this might have been a year or two ago. And it was challenged in the Pennsylvania state court. And the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania ruled that, they were going to let the conviction stand because the person didn't have the right to privacy when they did a Google search on their home computer. So I think this is a case you'll see come to the U.S. Supreme Court here eventually, which I think is an interesting notion because why, do you have an expectation of privacy in your Google search? Or should Google turn that over to the police in a sort of dragnet situation. So, in other words, a crime gets committed somewhere, and the police just go to the internet providers and say, give us a list of all the people that have searched for this
Well,
address.
doesn't this go back to a case, if I remember correctly, way back when the government tried to get something out of Apple to find out about searches and things like that? And
Apple wouldn't crack the phone for 'em.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah, that was
you know?
it.
So the law basically says that, if I were to run into you on the street and I were to say, hey, Alex, what do you know about that 1154 Pruder Lane house over there? And you and I were to have that conversation, we have an expectation of privacy. The government can't listen in on that without a warrant, and they would never get a warrant because they would never have a reason to, because we haven't committed any crime. But that doesn't seem to apply to your internet search. So the question is, why not? Is it because of certain things you sign, whatever? I'm not saying I have formed a judgment on it yet. I'm just saying it's very interesting that that's how a person was caught. So that's the thing. Is the FBI and Google, for example, have they? I'm sure they're running down people who might have searched for this Nancy Guthrie lady's address or whatever.
Wow.
Before the kidnapping. So that some of these things can maybe help solve crimes, which I think we all agree is a good thing. But then at the end of the day, too, it also, as I said, becomes, how much dragnet power, and that's basically what it is, right? They don't have a suspect. They're
Becomes
just
abusive.
casting a wide net to see if they
Yeah.
come up with a suspect, and then they work from there. That's an interesting deal,
Well, if they get us what they
they have the
usually
right
do
to do
with,
that or not.
what they usually do with Google or Apple or something is get a federal subpoena, and then that company decides, they hand it over to their legal department and decides if they're going to comply or not. And a lot of times they don't comply. Google with Google and Apple, not Facebook. Facebook will comply every time.
I don't think, the same thing with these is, the Department of Homeland Security has demanded, information from Google and other sites on Facebook for Meta, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They have demanded information on a high number of accounts that they deem what they said were hostile to ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So they want the personal information and search histories of people who went online on Facebook or whatever and wrote things that were negative about ICE. That's an incredibly egregious act, if you ask me. I don't really see that one in the news.
Yeah.
Again, it's a lot of stuff about men who did creepy things with women in, the 90s or whatever.
Yeah. There's our
Hillary
theme
Clinton.
song, by the way. We're coming close to the end of the program, as it were. Jeff, you haven't said a word tonight, or have you?
I've been very limited.
You've been very
Talked
limited.
about a friend who has that polio.
Oh, yes, you did make that comment. Anyway, thanks for coming here tonight, Jeff. I appreciate it. I always appreciate it when you're there. Kevin, good to have you here. Kevin, Josh, good to have you here. Mark, did you have one last thing to say, or you're just waving goodbye?
Waving goodbye.
Okay, and Alan, thank you so much for your participation tonight, as well as, of course, the man with the T-shirts. Charlie Wallace, everybody, give a big wave of goodbye, and I'll give a big wave back at you. Okay, there you go. Okay, nice seeing you guys, and we'll see you all hopefully again next week. Meanwhile, stay tuned for our good friend Amy Manuel, who will come up next with The Intersection. If you want to call her, she's on Zoom. Go to column 3 on Gabnet, gabnet.net, and down at the bottom you'll see her name. Click on it, and that'll immediately take you right there where you want to go to her Zoom. In the meantime, I'll see you again Monday with the pop-up show at 4 o'clock on Facebook, and then we'll also see you next week, same time, right here at on Wednesday, same time, same station. And by the way, if you see her, yeah, as always, of course, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend, everybody.